What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Yu Nagamura, back again for another video. And today we're going to be talking about playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Casually. A, why do people do it? And B, what's the appeal? Well, first off, some people, even if they play competitively or have played competitively in the past, may be looking for a way to play the game at a more casual level, and this is where kind of your friends come into play. If you have a group of friends that like to play Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe start talking to them about playing more casual decks. Take the hand traps out of your decks, all of the broken staples, hell, even just playing the decks in a more fun way. All of these are options, and today I'm going to be talking about my personal 5 favorite casual game. Well, favorite.
This is already going to be a failure when it comes to talking, and this is the second, third, fourth time I'm trying to record this video, so just bear with me, people. I'm not doing this again.
Basically, these are the 5 decks that I personally play, that I play at a casual level because they are fun. So, starting off the list is my boys, Phantom Knights. Now, Phantom Knights are a pretty cool archetype. I personally play the deck in the Trap variation. Purely, it's good. Even with the Burning Abyss, it's great. But the deck itself is just so fun to pilot. It's all about ranking up XYZ effects, as well as running like warriors that make graveyard plays, and trap cards that act as monsters, and trap cards that have effects when engraved. It's just a really fun archetype to play at the casual level that anyone can really pick up and play. It's not a super complicated deck, and if you like warriors in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's definitely something I recommend heavily. And if you're a dragon fan, it's a warrior deck that revolves around making a dragon. So it's really cool, it's really entertaining, and you can find bunches and bunches of different deck ideas for Phantom Knights. There's things like appliancers, there's Burning Abyss. I know that there's plenty of other ones, but I just wanted to name a couple. Scareclaw Phantom Knight is something you could technically do if you wanted to. So, trust me when I say it, this is a deck that is fun, strong, and can do a lot of awesome things. It's something that if you're wanting to play, it's definitely worth your time. Moving on to the second deck, and this one is not even surprised. In my number 4 slot, we're saying Crystal Beasts. Now, obviously, Crystal Beasts have modernly gotten better support. They got insane, basically. They were able to contest a tier 0 deck, which is insane to me. But Crystal Beast is a very, very fun archetype that revolves around basically trying to get 7 different materials on field to summon the Rainbow Dragon. We can search the Rainbow Dragon through the Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, as well as utilize the Rainbow Dragon in hand for Ultimate Crystal Magic. There's cards like the Rainbow Bridge of Heart, and just a bunch of really awesome cards. And I like to play this deck as a toolbox deck. On top of its core strategy, its extra deck just has so much space for things like Utopia the Lightning. It's got places for Link monsters. You can build this deck however you'd like, and run a lot of interesting cards in it, like Bagushka, or just in general, off the top of my head, Silent Honor Arc. If you're into the number monsters, large portion of them are level 4s or level 3s, so you're able to just utilize the deck to make number monsters, which I think is cool. It can make really powerful boss monsters, one of which is an 11,000 attack point monster, which is insane to me. And it's just a really fun deck that could be built in a couple different ways. I really like the combo strategy because it's just really, really aggressive and can make the boss monsters so quick. As for the other side of things, Crystal Beast has one awesome thing of it can also be a very solid control deck. And Conclave Control is probably one of my favorite ways to play any kind of control deck. It's just such a fun deck to pilot, and even casually, like ignoring D-Shifter, ignoring Abyss Dweller, ignoring meta defeating cards. The deck itself, pure as hell, with no hand traps, no anything, is just a really fun deck to pilot. Is it a little frail and a little dated with its resources? Absolutely. But its spell lineup makes up for it in spades, my friend. Moving on to my number 3 slots. And this was a deck I played for so long that I literally used to call myself the Odd Eyes King. That's right. The Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon deck. And believe it or not, there is probably a million ways to build this deck anymore. There's the Performant POW variation where you run more of the Performant POW cards to boost and like create a bunch of negations super quickly. There's the OTK variation that I play. I play a blind second version. You can play the Magician variation, which can create Zark. You can play this, you can play that. You can play whatever you like, which is what really sets this deck apart from other decks. Because it's not locking you into one play or another. It kind of just gives you the liberty to do whatever you'd like. Pendulums are a fun mechanic. They're not that good modernly, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people just dislike pendulums as a whole. So, be warned, if you decide to play a pendulum deck around people who don't like pendulums, you'll most likely be the target. Especially if you play in a group like I do sometimes, where we play multiple people at the same time. You will be the target, and there's not really much you can do about that. Your deck does have a stigma, but I like it because even with me being targeted by the whole field, it's not a deck that feels like it's losing until it loses. It's a deck that can make comebacks if given the opportunity, or fully control the game state, which is phenomenal to think about, especially in a casual deck that's able to control basically everything. Now we move on to my second and probably one of my favorite. Like, this and the other deck, it's really like close with each other. But 110%, number 2 has to go to the Red Eyes Black Dragon. This is one of my 2 main decks, and for good reason. This is not my main deck, this is my second, essentially my secondary main deck, and the reason for it is actually due to the fact of Red Eyes is an awesome deck. It is an awesome archetype. It is a powerhouse when it comes to FTK and burn. Except it's not good. So, full disclosure, Red Eyes is probably the worst deck I play, power-wise. Like, even my Dark Magician deck is stronger than my Red Eyes deck, and that's saying something given the fact that it doesn't even have Dragoon, but my Red Eyes deck does. So, needless to say, Red Eyes is not that strong of a deck. And yet, it is so fun to pilot. It is so easy to play casually and just pull out as a no-brainer, because it's just one of those decks that it either plays so smooth and so fluently, or bricks harder than Blue Eyes will ever. There is no in-between, and I love it. I love this deck so much, because it's just a deck that has some of the coolest looking cards in the game, and yet they're not good, but yet they work so well together that if it would have had the support back when Blue Eyes got its support back in 2016, I think that's when it got its support, like the Chaos Max stuff, it would have been a really good deck. Except it didn't get the good support. until like fucking 2023 when it was all irrelevant anyways. Like, why is Red Eyes constantly shafted with its support? It's just insane to me, and it's so funny to think that this happens so frequently. Anyways, recompose myself because the final deck and this one, I'm just gonna, my favorite deck to play casually is Branded. Yes, I know. I'm gonna get someone in the comments being like, "Oh, Branded isn't a fucking casual deck. Actually, that's a competitive deck, you douchebag. What, do you hate your fringe?" Well, no. Actually, the reason why I play Branded against my friends is because they are all relatively good players. Actually, I have a video on my page where my Branded deck went against a Ancient Gear deck that my friend was piloting, and that duel I almost lost. So trust me when I say, don't overestimate your playgroup, but also don't underestimate them. So as for the Branded deck that I have set up, it is a fusion combo deck. Obviously, I like my combo decks. What can I say? And it may or may not have a Dragoon and a Guardian Chimera coming into the deck soon, but that's just the way of Branded, I guess. But it's also just a deck that I have a lot of fun with and can play a lot of interesting cards. Like, Branded is an archetype that has been super interesting to me because it kind of just encompasses a bunch of different archetypes. Spriggans, Dogmatica, it works with so many different strategies and styles. I really, really like Branded Despia because the Despian monsters, even though there's not that many of them, they all look really cool. Except for Comedy. I don't really like Comedy. I don't even play it in the deck. But that's beside the point. Like, the Despian cards are really cool. And the fact that Bastiles basically are Branded monsters. The fact that, like, Fallen of Albaz and his own little core is its own thing. Like, Tri-Brigade and fucking Spriggans and even Dogmatica, like I mentioned before. All of these are the same archetype in a way. They all mesh well together. And it allows you to run this deck in so many different ways and so many different strategies that it's just so fun to create your own version of it. And even if you're not playing the best variation of it, even if you're not playing like the main Branded strategy, even if you're not even playing the Bastille package, even if you're not playing the Despians at all, it is such a fun deck to play. And this is coming from someone who started off playing this deck as Branded Kaiju. I didn't touch any of the Despians. I didn't touch the Tri-Brigades. I didn't touch the Dogmaticas. I didn't touch any of it. I only ever played the deck the way I thought I would have fun, which was Branded Kaiju. And I had fun with that. I had fun with Scythe locking people when that was available. I had fun tributing my opponent's monsters and summoning Kaijus to my field, then fusion summoning using that Kaiju. I was able to take control of the game and have fun. But yet, I found that playing it as Branded Despia is even more fun to me because I like how the Despians look. I like the card art. I like the lore. And in all honesty, if I would have known sooner, I would have actually taken the time to build it this way from the very start than holding off for as long as I did. So, with that being said, I've talked about my 5 favorite decks to play casually, but I want to know, What are yours? Do you have 5? Do you only play 1? Do you only have 1 deck? Do you only play competitively? Hell, do you only play casually? Do you not even know what Yu-Gi-Oh is and this is your first video ever watching anything on Yu-Gi-Oh? And if it is, I'm sorry for all of the ranting up to this point. I really need to work on that. I also want to apologize that I didn't post for a fucking week, but I've been busy with life and trying to get everything set up for what's coming in the future. Team Black Rose, gaming content, Exovers 2, possibly. I neither confirm nor deny that I may or may not have already decided that's what's happening. You have no proof. Anyways, I want to thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm actually going to probably do a video this week, next week, something soon. Talking about at least decent deck boxes for competitive play. Or just, something that's better built that... I'll go over deck boxes in a future video. At least the ones that I personally use. With that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Y'all know what to do. Smash that bell notification so you never miss when I upload, because you'll never fucking know. Because apparently I don't even fucking know anymore. And with all of that being said, I still don't have an outro. Bye!